Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of PsychPods. This is part 2. Here we will continue our discussion of cheating and what it entails. If you haven't listened to part 1, you may find a link to it in the description or it will appear somewhere in the screen now. Did it? Did it do the thing? I sure hope it did the thing. Well, whether it did the thing or not, we hope you enjoy. Now, on to part 2. We go! And we're back. Hello guys and welcome back. Oh wait, that was a bit redundant, isn't it? Okay, so in our previous episode we covered quite a lot about cheating. What is cheating, its causes, its possible justifications, and even conceptions or misconceptions of what could be considered cheating. We also made mention that there is a slight chance that your justification as to why you cheated isn't as strong as you think.
Again, speaking of chance, so would you stay with your partner even after being cheated on and risk thought of taintedness? Thoughts?
I personally, at the time, mind you, marupok. Okay, maybe not marupok, but more like I thought that was as good as it was going to get, and I didn't want to lose it, I suppose. And when you feel like that, you want to make it work. It's like you want to put so much effort rather than the party who cheated, no? So ironic. Sila nag-cheat pero ikaw mag-doble og effort. Like, yes, I would stay with. I wanted to stay with that partner, make it work. Risk thoughts of taintedness. Yes, I was willing to risk it because that's how much I loved my ex. That's how much I was willing to like feel a wincy pain every now and then if it meant that I could be with them. But I know better now, I've grown. Character development. But what about you guys? If you haven't been cheated on, like, do you think if you did get cheated on, you would give your partner a second chance? If I remember correctly, Van said that he hasn't cheated or he hasn't been cheated on.
Personally, yes. I think there's a room for improvement, but I don't think cheating is part of the ups and downs of relationships. But yes, I would consider it about getting back to each other or like staying still. I will still consider to stay even if our relationship was stained. But of course, there will be conditions such as she should handle my anxiety because she's the one who gave birth to it. She should seek self-growth and promise not to do it again, because if you cheated once, I still have self-respect for myself. That's redundant, but I will forgive you. But if you cheated twice, I think that's sort of a sickness. If you cheated all over again, that's a sickness, and that's kind of sickness that kanang hard to cure.
If past self panako ang pangutanon, like the one that wasn't cheated on, I would have said yes. But the thing is, if you're not in the situation, you wouldn't really know your answer. You could say now that you would say yes, you would, give them a chance, but if you're in the situation, things are different. You wouldn't exactly know what you're going to say unless you're in the situation itself na. So, if gipangutanap ako before that, the cheating incident, I would have said yes, but now that I have been through it, I would say no. Absolute no. Because even if I want it to work, I just don't think that it'll work, because I know myself and I know that I have the tendency to overthink, and I know that I'll always be paranoid about things, and that's just not healthy for a relationship, especially in the long run. If I can't really trust you, then what's the point, diba? So no, it's no for me.
I mean, like at the first place, if you like you were just starting your relationship, and then you're talking about like, hey, cheating is off the table. So if you do this, chances are you might not get me back. And if it happens that they don't respect it or they do it,
Hello, no? Yeah.
bye bye.
It's actually like it's not a common topic of discussion for people who are just starting out a relationship. They don't go like, okay, cards on the table. You cheat, I walk. But going to the would you go back to the person? I actually do like Marivic's answer. She was like, I would like to save my sanity by walking out of a problematic relationship.
Yeah. Save yourself from the trouble.
Have you ever heard of a scenario wherein ang nag-cheat siya pang nag-ghost? I ghosted you for a couple of weeks because I felt like you weren't understanding my side. I'm like, excuse me? Hashtag the
Think
audacity.
audacity. Grabe ka.
Like, where do you get off saying that? Like,
Your self-confidence is really high, no? If you do that.
like sana all. Which, do you know the principle of hedonism? It's like always seeking pleasure. Like seeking pleasure without regard of anyone else so long as you acquire pleasure. Pain is evil, pleasure is God. Pleasure is good. Hedonism. If you what do you call that? If you guys have time, well, I would recommend you guys watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. It really describes well hedonism and its principle. And I think that cheaters, like whether they know it or not, cheaters are hedonistic individuals. Like they seek pleasure, because why else would anyone cheat? Why else would anyone cheat? For your own benefit. So the benefit would be pleasure. It may be physical pleasure. It may be a different kind of pleasure. Like hurting someone could give you pleasure. I think that's called sadistic. Is that sadistic? So there could be that. Them being sadistic. Anyways, can the behavior of cheating be outgrown? Or is it something that worsens over time? Is it a behavior? More of an action?
I feel like it depends on the person. Some cheaters would probably, like, if the consequence of them cheating and being found out is really bad, then most probably they would change for the better. Because they would think to themselves, oh, I f***ed up really bad, so I should probably change this. For some people would just be, nah, I'm a yeet. And then repeat the same thing again. Diba? Some people would be like that. It really depends on the person and the type of person you are. There's really no excuse for it.
Yeah. If one does not admit that their partner cheat, or like they cheat, chances are they will do it again, so it will become worse. Again, it will always boil to the thought of cheaters are not sorry because they cheat, but they are sorry because they are caught.
Yeah. Okay. That's a fair enough point. Gaslit, the one whose ex was a constant cheater, said that with her ex's history, it worsened and it became a cycle wherein he enters temporary relationships and ends it after he associated himself with another. For some people, it worsens over time. For others, it's a one-time thing. Maybe, but what if a certain thing triggers the temptation or compels them to act again, no? It's like me when I say that I won't drink soft drinks again. At first, I'm just like, I can do this. I won't be tempted. And that unexpected occurrence, that one unexpected event just compels me to drink soft drink. I'm kind of comparing that to cheating, but it's a bad analogy. I'm sorry. I can't think of any good analogy as of the moment.
Some people might get addicted to cheating. I think they would get addicted with it, most probably, if they get away with it. Since, there's no real consequence. So, they think na, I can just do it again. No one really gives a so I'll just do it again.
It's like portrayed in Western movies. Like, some sees it like if you cheated or like you dump someone, padaghanay og na dump ba. okay, it's like a sort of it's like a sort of achievement, and you became the famous person in school.
It's the stereotypical view of Casanovas. They're often jocks.
I'm sorry, stereotyping. Stereotyping, not everyone's like that. But stereotypes exist for a reason because a majority act that way.
It's always the one you wouldn't expect pag yun.
Yeah. And that's the ones that hurt the most. You're just like, hala, nag-cheat tayo siya. Abi na ko, nice siya na tao. No, nice siya na tao, pero nag-cheat gyapon siya, okay? Depends on the person, basically. Really depends on the person. I'm not sure if there are researches that state that personality, like their personality type, would determine if they're most likely to cheat or not. That's actually a really good research topic. Does personality type correlate with the likeliness of them cheating?
Speaking of which, what are your personality types?
Is this the Myers-Briggs one?
Wait, is it the one like ISNTP? Which one is this? Kaya daghan magog mga personality
The one with the
types.
cute drawings? Myers-Briggs is the most famous one. Katong mga nakabutang sa memes, bita.
Yeah, that one.
I don't know.
You don't take it. It's 45 minutes. What about you guys?
INFJ,
Advocate.
the advocate.
If that's your personality type, based on your personality type or you knowing yourself, of course, like, do you think you would cheat?
No, because I don't want to get cheated, so like I don't want to cheat.
And so na, what goes around comes around.
So karma will come at those people. Karma will just bite you in the ass, won't it? I just love karma. I wouldn't cheat.
They want nga to have a backup plan if their, their side relationship won't work. They want a backup. Their side chick.
Side hoe. I mean, if side chick ang babae, unsa ang lucky? Side cock? I wait, no. Side handy, I'm sorry. Sayo dito, sorry. What's to?
That's not it. It's kind of sort of a prejudice to think or to name women who are kanang like tawagon mo silang side chick or like side hoe, like
Unsa sa laki, di ba? It's so unfair.
Yeah, I'm really curious on what people would call their kabet. Because I know in Filipino it's kabet, right?
If mistress ang sa babae, unsa sa laki?
Mister.
Mister. See? Wala gid sa lalaki, di ba? It's so unfair.
We're going to think of one while we're thinking. Let's
I'll make
discuss.
a poll on Twitter.
How would you create a poll if you don't have like options to choose from?
Side acts and side...
Those are both bad suggestions. Sidecock. Okay, let's just use sidecock.
Comment down below what you think nga guys should be called if they're the mistress.
Like equivalents of the female terms like side hoe, mistress, unsa pa to? Those are the only ones I know.
Do you think it's unfair?
It's unfair.
Some people would say that, nah, it's not okay. Usually girls are the one, blah, blah, blah. Some assholes would say that.
But no, wouldn't that mean that males are the more likely to cheat the party, and maybe that's why there isn't a
Is
term?
there like a statistics for that? Here, in general, men are more likely than women to cheat. 20% of men and 13% of women reported that they've had sex with someone other than their spouse while married, according to data
married.
from the General Social Survey.
But I think that's it's in America, so it's not really applicable here in the Philippines. But based on the progression, I guess it's not safe to assume, because there are female cheaters that, like, I think it should be known, because people often think that cheaters are just males. There are female cheaters. They're just not really talked about.
It's like related to, men getting raped, and no one really talks about it that much because it's not as often as,
it's taboo.
Girls getting raped.
And then like some kind of a trivia. I know male friends who engage into cheating, and the main purpose of it is like to have sex.
Yikes.
It kind of links to a quote. I've found a quote. Man cheats for sex. Women cheats for love. Is it true?
I feel like that's generalizing na lang naman.
I feel like I understand what that quote is trying to say. I don't agree with it, of course, but like, I wanna dissect the quote a bit. Men cheat for sex. They, like Zeus, he just couldn't keep it in his pants. Women cheat for love. I guess not necessarily love. There are women who would cheat on their partners with the reason that their current partner is not emotionally, is constantly constantly unavailable emotionally, and that somehow drains them. So when they find a connection with another person, like in an emotional manner, they feel compelled to strengthen that emotional connection. There are so many factors, but I don't agree with the love part.
I feel like it's just generalizing. Men tend to be more, sexual in nature than women. Mo nang makasulti sila nga, men tend to cheat. Cheat for sex. Women cheat for love. Gi-generalize na lang nila ang what they see, most probably.
The early mindset before ba na men are more physically inclined, and women are the more emotional ones. So I guess that's where the quote sprouted from.
There's so much to say, Manggod.
So much. I feel like it's not enough, and the fact that we didn't dissect each question thoroughly. Okay, let's talk about on the cheater side, because we've been talking a lot about implications of cheating to the cheated party. Well, what about for the cheater? Do you think that afterwards they have guilt, and if so, how do they deal with it? Should they also ask for professional help when dealing with this type of thing?
No, I feel like if they feel guilty about it, then they are aware that they're doing something wrong, which should mean that, they can acknowledge the fact that they need help. Because, asking for professional help because you're kind of up is not a bad thing, and it's really important if you want to improve yourself. And if you're guilty about what you did, pero some people would not be.
Yeah.
I think.
Even if they are really feel sorry for cheating, they should feel sorry for cheating. Yeah, they should take all the blame.
Unless they're apathetic.
Yeah. Oh no.
They would just be sorry just because they got caught, and
That's been thrown a lot. That's been like the main argument. Like, the only reason why you're sorry is you're caught, and it's true. Like, if you didn't get caught, would you say sorry? Would you come clean? Would they come clean?
Yeah, and to start with, there are no cheaters who really admit it, like open the topic for it, like, hey babe, I cheated on you.
Some would, I think.
So casually, like, so maybe in like maybe there are when you're really open with one another, I suppose. But how would that progress, that discussion? So your babe will be like, yeah, I cheated on you too, we good. Like, that's actually a question of mine. So let's say that the person said that like, hey babe, I've been really struggling to tell you this, but I cheated on you. And then of course the partner gets hurt. But what if like the mindset of the partner is like, I'll forgive you if I cheat on you too. For example, kiss, diba? Like, if you kiss someone, then it would only be fair for me to kiss someone else. Murag inana ba? I've seen it portrayed in media. I haven't met anyone in that kind of relationship. What do you think? Do you think it's
I think I would
healthy?
prefer it if you tell me that you cheated on me, but I won't be able to forgive you. I'd just be very thankful na you're straight up about it instead of prolonging it, diba? But I would not be able to, I still wouldn't be able to forgive you just because you told me about it. At least you're honest. I'll give you that. I'll give you credit for that. Na you're honest.
But I told you that you could cheat with someone else too. And we'll be even.
No! If kaya sa imuhang konsensya, then that's on you, but it's not for me. What's the point of being in a relationship if you're just both gonna up and then pretend like it never happened after that? Mura na magnagduwa.
Points. Life is a game. That's why I asked. 'Cause, I mean, I have seen it in media.
Media romanticizes the shit a lot.
I guess that's why some people think that cheating's okay.
It's very common especially if madungog nimo ang mga neighbors and mag-away ang neighbors kung nag-cheat si kuan tapos and then as you grow up you think na it's normal. So environment plays a really huge factor in how you think about these kind of things. Your thought process about, you know, these things.
So prominent because it's so prominent here. And if I hear about someone who has been in a relationship and hasn't been cheated on, I would be so happy for that person.
But if the cheater feels sorry for themselves, then they should seek therapy for it. I mean, therapy is for everyone. It's for you to get help and improve yourself.
Again, in the Philippines, not everyone can afford therapy. We don't even have a budget wherein therapy is like you can have it freely.
It's also like viewed in a negative way. It's been portrayed in a negative manner. Like when you get therapy, it's usually because you're crazy, your problems. It's viewed so negatively that it comes out like people think na, oh, you're going through a therapy, you must have done something really wrong. It's been portrayed negatively so much na people tend to get, a bad light
Agree.
on how they see it.
And then the government should also allocate budget for it. The Dolomite thing is so funny. Like they linked it to mental health. How would you associate it with mental health?
Not professional people. That's who.
Oh, you know what? Interesting kaya ang answer ni gaslight. He gaslighted me by made me feel crazy for noticing that something was wrong between us and even invalidated my struggles. Afterwards, I was so naive that we got back for about 8 months, but those months were filled with fights. Ooh. I got used to our setup, not knowing it was not love but trauma bonding. Oh my god. The word.
Trauma bonding. I don't love her situation, but I love how she termed it ba. Trauma bonding.
I was just gonna say nga, when you think about what other people do to other people emotionally and mentally, it's really up, not to the point na they really need help, but you can't really help them because there's really no law about it, which is sad.
It's hard if we were ever to create a law on that. It's hard because it is intangible. And then, dugay ang process to make it like a law.
Okay, it's so hard to make a law about it, as you said. Okay, it's not tangible. But it's so sad how people can just other people up, their mindset, their self-esteem, everything about them, just because they can get away with it.
The mental health law took so long to be incorporated into our constitution, but it's not, even if it's law, no one really implements it. No one tries to utilize it to use it as benefit for our society. Maybe it could be incorporated somehow, but that's up for discussion, and that's really up to, sad to say, our government. It's really up to them if they consider it an issue that needs to be addressed, that needs to be given a law. Hope for the best.
Yeah, we should proceed to next.
Yeah. How should we deal
with the situation wherein we are friends with both parties? Oh.
I mean, are you even tolerating your friends cheating your other friends?
Oh my god! That's what, barkada sa akong ex did. They tolerated. Sila pa nag-encourage and stuff.
Oh, that's somehow connected also to another point of discussion, so maybe we can put it all together ba? Will peer pressure influence one decision to be unfaithful? Yes.
Code yes.
You center your life to your peers.
Or you seek validation from your peers.
But how would you deal with it? What if both are cheating parties? I mean, it doesn't necessarily say that, the question is a bit ambiguous. It doesn't say that only one party is the cheater. What if both parties are cheating and there's you know about it? Let's say you know about them cheating with one another.
I would get as far away as possible from them, to be honest lang.
But would you, as the friend, maybe tell them?
If you try to reconcile them, it would make you look like a bad person in their eyes. Yeah. I mean, there's no argument. If you tolerate a cheater, then if you tolerate your cheater friends over your other friend, then what would that make you?
The question is it's a very difficult one, Bital, because I do know people who've had difficulty with this kind of thing because the reasoning is they've known one party or both parties for so long, and the bond that you've created, is it really worth it now to shatter because of that minor incident?
Minor.
A lot of people don't think cheating is a big deal because, as we mentioned before, media has romanticized it.
True, but either way, if imong friend kay kanang like both of the parties are kanang your long-time friend, and then makonsensya ka if imong i-tell sa other friend kay basin mag-away mo. But either way, if you tolerate it, mag-away man pud mo sa katong imong gi-cover up ay sa imong nakuan, di ba?
Even if friends ta, I love my friends so much. Pero even if friends ta and unsa pa ta kadugay nga friends, if you both are cheating on each other behind each other's backs, I'm gonna yeet because couple mo and you can do that to each other and like you can do that to me. Sad bisag friends ta. What more to me nga couple na mo ni cheat ka sa imong uyab, what more to me? If you can betray someone nga you claim to love, what more to the people nga you're just friends with? So I'm just gonna cut them off probably. As as that sounds, as selfish as that sounds, I won't be able to tolerate both of them. I just tell them both na, "Oy, you guys are cheating with each other," and then I'm not gonna be friends with you again. But it's hard to tell when you're not in the
For
situation.
me, Hakay, if I were a friend of both parties who are cheating with one another, like they're cheating with one another, I would confront them individually first. Especially if I've known them for so long, like we've like struck a bond, let's say. I would want to sit down and have a conversation with them about it. Like to know what would their next step be. If their next step is to continue doing it, sorry, I'm going to yeet. I'm going to go bye. But at least I did, like, because I think, like, if I'm a friend, like, I think it would be my part. Like, I love you, but what you're doing is wrong. Someone here, I think it was Ogu. I'm trying to understand a portion. I mean, I'm trying to understand what he's trying to say in general. He said to take a neutral stance at first. Cross-examine what they... Oh, it's basically what I said. Personally, it's always the fault of the cheat, but there are times, not always, wherein the victim is also at fault. If the victim is a toxic person, they're also at fault. What do you mean? Like, if the victim of the cheating is a toxic person, then they deserve to be cheated on? Is that what August trying to say?
Maybe ang iyang maybe what she's trying to imply is kanang like murag ni cheat siya kay toxic ang iyang partner.
Oh. Like you can't stand the partner na?
Is it justifiable? It's not a justifiable one, I suppose. If the victim never bothered to communicate with their partner, they're also, but this time not always, at fault. If the victim tried but never got through and still got cheated on, they're not at fault. If the victim is a good person and partner, not the victim.
Like what if the victim never got the hint nga nag-cheat na the ilang partner, how would they be able to communicate?
I like this response. It seems not tainted by experience, because I think Ogo was the one who said that he never been cheated on. But still, like, to people who have been cheated on, that's
a very because saying that can lead to problems, you know. It can lead to what we said earlier, like it can lead to self-doubt, especially sa victims. They would think nga, am I toxic? Am I not toxic?
He further states that in regards to cheating, because rape and other stuff are on entirely different levels, victim blaming is bad when they are fully innocent and actually trying to fix things. I'm getting mixed. Ogo, I'm getting mixed signals from you.
When you say that the victims are actually trying to fix things, it's like you're saying that they're entitled to, fix things. They're not. It's not their job, Even if you're in the relationship, if a cheater cheats, it's not your responsibility to fix the relationship. And nag-imply lang ang iyang statement. Pero basin di ay lahi iyang pasabot.
If they don't bother fixing things, examine it further. As for toxic people, well, they may have tried to change, but as I said in an earlier question, people don't do a 180 immediately. It takes years to fix oneself, okay? The fact that they started a relationship toxic just means they weren't ready for one. Oh, okay. Maybe their next one will be better in the sense that they themselves will be better, or maybe not. Who knows? Thank you, Ogu. That was so many twists and turns.
It's also a very controversial na take.
Exactly.
I feel like what he or she is trying to imply is that naay tao sa isa ka relationship na toxic, which is why the other person cheated. Pero that just means na, there's a reason on why he or she cheated, but that doesn't make it a good reason. You could just break up. No. Forget I said nga you could just break up. Okay, there are different situations wherein it's hard to break up, or, context, depende sa context. Pero, it's
I think it was mentioned someone's trying to fix the relationship by cheating. But I guess cheating is not your best option.
It's like the Plan Z, or even beyond Plan Z. That's like last resort fixing, I suppose.
Or it could be like you're trying to get out of the relationship, and the only way that you can do that is by cheating. Kay nakatoxic ang tao. Pero that still doesn't justify the cheating.
Doesn't that also make you a toxic person? Because the first thing that you think would get you out of the relationship easily is cheat.
Pero basin sad ang context sad, like basin ang iyang pasabot nga gicheatan kay toxic, gabi ka toxic, like emotionally manipulative, always gaslighting you into thinking na you should never leave them, or like gani. So maybe that's what the August's point is, pero still doesn't justify cheating. Para nako lang, it's still not a good reason. Even if at fault ang tao nga your relationship isn't working, that doesn't mean you should cheat.
Follow up si Ogu. Peer influence ba? Let me answer this with another question. How weak-willed must you be to bend to the peer pressure of cheating? You must have not loved the person enough to be able to say no to that peer pressure. You want to be a slave to such stupid things like peer pressure? No? Then make your own damn choices. Lose those friends. The fact that they're going to make your life is already a good reason to not be with them. If yes, why the flying do you even bother to get a
and to think Ogu has never been into a relationship, di ba?
Maybe it's like, it's a neutral stance lang kay he hasn't been in a relationship, so, it's from a person who hasn't been in a relationship. It's a very neutral view. It's so easy to say lose those friends, lose those blah blah. But what if those friends are the only friends that you have and you're reliant on them? You grew dependent on them. You can't really fault the person for, because friends play a big part of who you are, and sometimes they make up like 50% of who you are, diba? Okay, they say you adopt what your friends do.
But I guess as you not older, as you become more mature siguro, most likely that peer group that you are dependent on should mature as well. But if their thought process hasn't matured and their line of thinking is that, you have, as much as it's hard to do, you have to slowly lose those friends and burn the bridge. But yeah, it's really difficult, as you said. My only advice is, if you were going to lose them now, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe in the future, when you when both parties become more mature, you can be friends again. But at that time, it was the best decision for you, and no one should say otherwise, because that was your decision.
But some people wouldn't realize that, what their friends are saying is bad. Because, as they said friends play a huge part in who you are. So, na times na magsunod-sunod na lang sa kasun sa ilang gisulti. Which means that na ay possibility nga you just do what they want you to do and cave in, and you won't really realize nga what they're saying nga you should do is bad. Kay your friends, you think nga they've always got your back, they always want the best for you, but that's not always the case. But you don't know that. Some people won't know that, especially young people who are dependent on their friends.
Yeah, developmental psychology. There's a topic there wherein they tackle age levels and what is the center of those. And at our age, it's a mixture of peers as well as well as our family. But as we get older, like, our peers are no longer the center of that, and the center becomes our partner if we have any, or just intimate family. So what are your advice to people, man? Like, do you think they should consider non-cheating friends? Like, they should somehow insert that in a conversation when initially getting to
I
know
think
someone?
you should start first by talking with them. Like, if it fixes by talking, but if not, then yes, maybe you should consider seeking some new friends, because to begin with, they are not directly effective, but you are. So yeah, you should pick who your friends are. Best option is not the cheating ones.
I mean, if they think na it's okay for you to cheat, don't you think na it's gonna be okay for them to betray you? I feel like they would think it's okay for them to betray you too. Okay, it's okay for them to cheat, God. So they have that kind of mentality wherein, they don't really think much about the people around them's feelings or the victim's gonna feel. So you should probably talk to them about it. If they don't change their views, then, slowly burn the bridge down.
It sounds harsh, but it's true.
What can you say to, like, the people who got, like, example na ay naminaw ani, who got cheated on lang, baguhay lang? What can you say to that person? Or your old self, katong baguhay pa ka na cheatan?
It's hard. It's still hard to give advice to those people who have been recently cheated on. My advice to them would be, try lang, ha, for a day, just for a day, going off social media and not attending your class, ha. Allow yourself to break down, because let's say since they're recently broken up, I'm assuming it's during the pandemic, and so many what do you call that, so many tasks are piling up that they say, okay, I'm just going to break down when I have time. No, don't break down, or don't allow yourself to wait to break down. Like, give yourself the actual time. Set a time to break down. Because breaking down surprisingly helps. Like, people will say na, oh, why are you breaking down over this? Like, breaking down lets you release all that, not, if not all, just a little bit of the negativity. So just set a day for yourself. No going online, no perusing Canvas or Twitter. Just go off the grid for a day and just be with yourself. Let yourself feel, be it anger, be it sadness, and usually that would make you feel better. Usually. If it doesn't, support systems are also a huge thing, especially if your support systems are good influences in your life, who have been positive influences throughout your as long as you've known them, then seek out their support. Yeah, that's about it. What about you guys?
This is an advice for the couples out there. If it happens that both of you don't have a common friends, always think of this, that your partner's friends are not your friends. So there are high tendencies that they will cover up your partner's cheating habits or whatsoever. So don't fully trust them. Or like if it happens that you have friends or like friends sa imong partner who will really tell you about such bad things that they have done at your back, then lucky for you. But the tendency here is that your partner's friends will really cover up for the things that your partners will do. So don't think of it nga friends imong uyab kay friends na pud nimo directly.
I think nga, if you're going through something like that, nga, someone cheated on you, first and foremost, you should remember, like the one thing that you should remember is that it's probably not your fault. It's really not your fault, honey. It's like no matter how shitty you were in the relationship, it's just not an excuse to cheat. And your self-esteem, it's gonna be low for a while, but you have to work on that. Work on yourself. Even if you have to avoid other people first or your friends, it's fine. It depends on you and how you cope. Maybe you want to, surround yourself with friends, or maybe you wanna isolate yourself. It doesn't matter as long as you're trying to get better. Just don't think that it's your fault, because it's really not. And that don't say nga you're not enough, because you probably were. Walang gid siya na kontento. So, it's their loss, not yours. Think of it that way na lang. Also, don't, like, as much as I hate cheaters, don't bear a grudge. Like, don't hold grudges, because it's really not gonna affect them. It's gonna affect you more. It's gonna bring you down. It's gonna be a really, really heavy feeling. So it's better na, even if you don't forgive them, just don't hold grudges, because it's gonna work out, and you're gonna be fine soon enough. Just not now, but soon enough you're gonna be fine. You'll feel better soon.
Mm-hmm. You'll feel better soon. Just take it one day at a time. Before we end the segment, it's going to be like a bit on the controversial side. Do you guys have anything to say to the cheaters out there, or to a specific person in your mind? What's your message to cheaters out there?
I've been dreaming of this day for way too long. I wanted to tell that person like so many things na. Pero ikaw sa Van, you go first. I'm trying to compose myself.
Hello, and you know who you are. Yeah, we've both had separate ways, but back then we used to really hate cheaters. But now I'm on a solo path, being a loyal one. But really though, if it happens that you've been cured from this sickness, you can always ring my phone. My house is always open.
Oh, that's nice. Kira ka, Angel. Are you ready?
I'm ready. To whoever you are, you know who you are. You know who you are. What you did was really f***ed up. There's no flowery way to say it. It's really f***ed up. And I hope you know that. I'm sure you know that. But no matter what, like at first, I admit I really hated you. Like, I wanted everything bad to happen to you. I'm not gonna lie. I thought of bad things. I've been really horrible. Like, my mindset has been really horrible. I've thought of millions of ways that I would want you to suffer. I'm not even gonna deny that, because that's what really went through my head as I tried to cope up with things. But as time slowly progressed on, I just wanna say that I'm sorry that you're going through that. I mean, I'm going through things, but you went through that too. You cheated, and I don't know what's in your head. Maybe you're just really having a hard time or whatever it is. Even if there's really no good reason, there's still a reason. And even whatever those reasons are, I hope that you're okay now, and that you're okay now. You don't do that again. I hope you know that you really me up, and I'm not it's okay. It's even if you did, I'm happy that you did. Okay, I learned to love myself more. And whatever you're going through, I hope you've dealt with it. If that's your coping mechanism of whatever it is that's happened with your family, I hope you've changed that. I hope you seek help, even if it's not professional. I hope you seek help in order to, better yourself, and for the people around you. Sad. Wala, I just really wish na you're mentally healthy right now, and that you use this as a lesson for future, girlfriends, or bisag karon nga girlfriend ni mo, current girlfriend. And I don't hate you. I could never hate you. Even if you did those things, there's still a soft part of you that would always, care for that person no matter how platonic it is right now. There's always gonna be a spot for that person. And I'll never be able to hate you, but I'm very happy. I think you're happy right now, hopefully. And I just want you happy, Marana. And hopefully you are, as I've said, healthy. You're good. You don't do those things na. I wish you the best. Take care. My God.
Are you okay? Are you feeling a little better at the least?
Yeah. Really,
It's a
really
strong
better.
behavior to still not try to hold grudge, even after what he did to you.
It's just gonna eat me up,
You
so why
deserve
bother?
peace after all.
And also, I became, I loved myself more because of that. I learned a lot. Next, the kanig masulti.
Honestly, I have too many things to say, and right now I'm thinking of two people. I know they probably won't listen to this podcast, but Angel Angel may have the power to not hold a grudge. Well, I'm still on my way there, apparently. When your names are mentioned, even if it's not only you they're talking about, it's just the same name. I sort of experience it all over again. You did that to me. I've known you both for so long. One, a childhood friend. One, a dear friend who was also my lover, my partner. And the fact that both of you, on separate occasions when I asked, lied to me. It's something I have not gotten over yet. Doubts and feelings of worthlessness would sometimes come into my mind uninvited, and I hate it. But for the span of 2 years, my anger lessened as I have directed my energy elsewhere. But if we ever do meet again, I just hope you have the balls, or you give me the decency to walk up to me, and we'll have the proper discussion we never did, and we'll have that discussion as two or as decent human beings to get some sort of closure. And as for other cheaters, maybe you think you have reasons that are justifiable, but just know that your action of cheating does not only affect you. It affects the person you are with, and even those who are not even a part of your relationship. Please get the help that you need. Try to introspect as to why you're doing such things. I think that could be a great starting point. And hopefully, at the end of it all, you change for the better. Yeah. Mauro to siya.
That's nice.
I kinda want to eat ice cream. I want to eat ice cream for some reason after
It was
that.
really honest.
It's not really completely not having a grudge. Naagya pa gamay, pero it's better if wala. If he didn't cheat, I wouldn't find, my girlfriend right now. I wouldn't be this happy. And I wouldn't learn that constant communication is important. Learn to put myself above the person I'm partnered with. That's really important, by the way. Nga, you should always keep something for yourself. Sa gamay lang. Magbilin ka sa imong self. You don't really give in your all to the person you're in a relationship with.
Oh, honestly, I was not expecting this turn of events. I want to thank you guys. I mean, I got to know you guys more. It's a nice feeling, like connecting with you guys on that level.
It would be really interesting to hear another perspective, like from a person who's, neutral. Kinsa to? Ogu? Yeah. It would be really interesting to hear his or her thoughts about this.
It would. Or we have like a guest speaker who is a cheater, or better yet, someone who is a relationship counselor siguro. But that's all we have for today and for this episode. Maybe in the future we will, rediscuss these things with more information, maybe more angles to look at. But till then, let us know what you think in the comments below and what topic you would like us to discuss in the future. Until then, this is the PsychPods team signing off from episode 3 about cheating. Stay safe, stay sanitized, and of course, happy Valentine's Day and Organ Donor Day. Bye!